If you are trying to raise pre-seed funding, I do these reaction videos on currently funded companies or announcements of funding to help you with a reality check and to give you an idea of what it takes right now in today's environment to raise pre-seed funding or seed funding. TechStars backed Nigerian edtech Klas raises $1 million for global scaling of online teaching platform. TechStars is an accelerator like Y Combinator, maybe not as big or as popular, but it's pretty much up there. I would say it's sort of second in the pecking order when it comes to accelerators. I know a lot of founders that have gone through TechStars and have had a very good experience with it. Let's take a look at the details here because genius always leaves clues, and you want to be studying this to understand what it's going to take if you're trying to raise a pre-seed round, especially if you're building something in terms of edtech right now. Edtech is still pretty hot, not as hot as it used to be, but it looks like it's still gaining steam. Nigerian online teaching platform Klas has raised $1 million in pre-seed funding led by Ingressive Capital. So here's the first point is we have a lead investor. A lead investor is an investor or a fund firm that can lead the round. They can pull together other investors, do a lot of things such as be that main pivot point, that anchor, the point of credibility that allows other investors to have confidence to be able to come in. So a lot of times investors will say, we'll write you a check if you get a lead investor. And we've got Ingressive Capital and then TechStars, Hoke, I hope I'm saying that properly, as well as several angel investors have come in. Founded in 2022, so this is about 2 years old. Here are two founders, two co-founders, and the entire pitch is Klas enables users to create and sell ebooks, courses, and live classes. This is not new. There's a lot of competition out there, so we have to keep digging on what sets Klas apart and the reason they deserved and earned their pre-seed funding, which I'm sure they did, but let's keep digging. The platform offers essential Klas components such as scheduling payments, all that stuff. Again, nothing new. Let's read this quote. You can think of it the same way you think of Shopify, what they're doing for online stores, where anyone can set up their stores and sell anything online is what Klas is trying to do for its users by helping them set up online schools and run classes. That's what the co-founder said for the TechCrunch interview. Again, I'm not hearing anything different, solving a similar problem, very familiar with similar type of solutions. Let's keep going. Nachukwu founded Klas when he was 18. 3 years before that, he was in an accident where he lost an eye, resulting in a 6-month break from school. During this period, with a passion for physics and emerging from 2-month coma, Nachukwu sought to stay engaged and contemplate starting an online physics class where he could get paid for teaching lessons. However, he encountered some complexity in existing platforms and experience that led to the first ideation of streamlined solution that would become Klas. Here's the thing, this founder had a problem, had his own itch, went out to scratch it. That's always a good sign. On the call, the founder shared that after graduating school and having self-taught coding, he learned to code. He became technical. That's another really, really good sign. He dropped out of college. He declined a scholarship in Canada. Good Canadian opportunity. I'm in Canada, so that resonates with me. Instead, he committed to building Klas full-time, finding his co-founder and CTO. So he went out, he learned technical skills, but he did find a CTO. And in 2021, before raising an angel round of $180,000, this is important. He raised $180,000 before his institutional pre-seed. That is something that every founder should consider. If you can go to an institutional investor and say, we raised $180,000 pre-seed, look what we've done with it, then you're in line to raise more money. I encourage founders to do that. Raise less money up front, enough pre-seed or pre-seed in this case, to get you to that seed round. Show them what you could do with it. And he got into TechStars. So that's another good point, is that if you can get an accelerator, that's a nice feather in your cap. Here's where we get into some differentiators, and this is important. This is what we need to learn from other than the typical news and the story of these founders and what happened. Nachukwu identified a gap in the market. Remember this, where incumbent platforms like Kajabi and Thinkific can be overwhelming for the first-time users due to the maturity of their products. I use Thinkific, and I definitely can say lots of tools, overwhelming. As a result, Klas could play to its late mover advantage. Late mover advantage. This is the first time I've heard of the late mover advantage. I dig it. If you are trying to get into an industry that already has incumbents in there that are well established, get to the late mover advantage. This is different than the first mover advantage. They want to provide a simple tool set and user-friendly experience, making it accessible for beginners to effortlessly host engaging online classes amid the rising global demand of online education, especially for these platforms to train the next workforce. Now we read here, we're hyper-focused on a closed ecosystem, unlike these other big companies who are basically integration toolkits where everything is fully integrated in the platform. Here we go. This is the contrarian bet. If the other platforms are open, you're going to be closed, which is the opposite, using your late mover advantage because you're learning all the lessons of these other companies as they are too big to actually pivot and be agile. Now you can find gaps and opportunities to jump in there. For class experiences, they might offer Zoom or Google Meet. For class management, maybe Slack and all that. But with Klas, everything, including our virtual classroom, was built from the ground up. We don't use Zoom or Google Meet. We actually built our tool called Klas Life, which doesn't use any video API. This was built from scratch and with very unique video architecture, he claimed. These guys have the advantage of being able to build their own stuff. If you can build your own stuff from the ground up and you don't need to rely on anything else, well, that looks really good for your startup. Something you want to think about if you are technical and also think about if you're non-technical. Here's a picture of the two founders, two good-looking dudes, pretty cool. Now we get to traction. Today, Klas boasts a user base of over 5,000 online schools. These are the creators, which have earned hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is serious traction. $180,000 pre-seed. And here we go. Going through TechStars obviously is helpful, but look at that traction. And 300,000 learners spanning over 30 countries. If you're trying to raise $1 million, do you have that level of traction? You need to be asking yourself, reality check. While it is part of a rare group of African startups serving a global audience, definitely rare, the majority of its users are based in Nigeria. This is the land and expand model. If you're an emerging market, emerging country, then definitely you're going to get attention because hey, North America is saturated by Thinkific, Kajabi, and all these other platforms, of course. This makes sense. Currently facilitating transactions in Naira for Nigerian users. I hope I said that right, and I think that's the currency. And dollars for those outside Nigeria. The EdTech startup aims to amplify its international presence, focusing on India, another emerging market. So land and expand, dominate Nigeria, then get to India. Its second largest market, and North America, where the incumbent players in the industry have the bulk of their customer base. All right, it's going to be tough to crack North America, but they are betting on these founders that they'll be able to figure it out. The move aligns with startup strategy to address currency devaluation concerns and includes plans to enhance the user experience with localized currency options in various countries. All right, late mover advantage. I like it. And then finally, it says it has been a rewarding experience to have invested in Klas at the early stage of the company based on the core abilities of the co-founders Nathan and Lacan and the vision that they set for the company. This is from the managing director of TechStars Toronto. This confidence was further demonstrated by our follow-on investment in the company, so multiple rounds, participation, something we like to do when presented with exceptional opportunities. There you have it. Once again, this is a reality check. If you're trying to raise pre-seed funding, about $1 million, this is what it's going to take. Make sure you check out all the other reaction videos that I'm going to put on the screen right now so you can watch and you can learn. Hope this has been helpful. If you like this type of stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.